Welcome back to the prediction show with me, Joe from OddAlerts.com. Here's what's coming up in this week's episode.
Football drives our hearts. Data plays its part. Value bets we seek with Joe from OddAlerts.com.
The theme tune is growing on me. I'll let you in on a secret. Before I posted it for the first time, I was actually debating going down another direction, but it's definitely growing on me. So on Monday's episode, I asked you to comment what I should cover next, be that first half goals, first half corners, or BTTS. Now, the winner, I think, from the comments, just looking at them and scanning, and I didn't count, but I just kind of made a mental note of what won, and it was definitely between BTTS and first half goals. But just want to flip to the site, because this is the shortlist that we created on Monday's video for first half goals. So if first half goals was the winner, I think we should just sort of continue to look at this filter and what made it, and then we will make BTTS the actual filter that we focus on in this video. But this shortlist that we made, if we just look at the results, 2-0 half time, 1-0 half time, 1-0, 2-0, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 0-0. So one game here on the first day did not end in a halftime goal being scored, which is pretty good, a good start. On the Tuesday, just a couple of games and a couple of halftime goals as well. On Wednesday, 3 out of 3, and I'm recording this on Thursday, and we've got one game from Australia. So I mean, an incredible hit rate, to be honest, on this filter. It's pretty remarkable. And what we were filtering for was the probability model. If you remember, if you watched the previous video, we were filtering for halftime draw probability and setting it as low as we could so that we still got some games through. So I'm just going to, in terms of halftime goals, people that commented that they wanted to see first half goals in this video in terms of creating a quick filter for it, what I'm going to suggest is that you watch the previous video and emulate that filter and see what it gives you for the weekend, because this filter has done superbly well. So that was the first half goals filter. Today we are going to be doing BTTS, but I've got some games that I've found during my own research that I want to show you first. So we'll get onto them, as you saw in the intro. So we've got some interesting games to look at, a range of markets as well. I want to sort of mix it up, really mix it up on this prediction show. You know, going forward into the new season, I'm trying to work out the format now so that when these domestic seasons get going, it's like clockwork, and these shows can be put out on Monday, Thursday/Friday, and then maybe some other content in between as well, maybe some live shows on Saturday and Sunday, previewing the bigger games in the Premier League, Championship, La Liga and stuff like that. So let me know what you think about that sort of schedule. Let me know what type of content you want to see. And as always, before we get into the juicy stuff now, leave a comment if you want. If you've got any feedback, every comment will automatically be entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro. And with that said, here is the winner from the previous video. Well done to you. I will be in touch and we will get you set up with a month of Pro. I fancy going to Peru. Do you? If you do, then let's do it. Nah. Anyway, let's jump to Peru, because we have a team here that has won every single home game played this season. Now, I'm hoping the odds haven't dropped too much here, because when I looked at this game, they were evens and they're still evens. They haven't dropped too much. Bet Regal now under evens, and we can see by the probability model here, 1.57 is the implied odds. So they are strong favourites with the model, and to be honest, it doesn't take much to see why. They've won every single home game, 9 out of 9, goal difference of 26 compared to the 4 of the away team here. And the away team, you know, they're no schmucks, but if we look at the results and we take a look at the home form, even without looking at the home form, just one defeat all season for Universitario. I don't know why every team I pronounce that isn't English sounds Italian, but that's happening at the moment. 1 goal conceded in the last 4 games total, and we'll look at that home form because that's what it's all about. 1 goal conceded this season. The price at evens is a value bet. Klaxon, told you that one was coming. They've conceded 1 goal, and that was to the team that is top of the league, or was top of the league when they played. We can look at the table to see that Universitario is second. The table shows us that it's a tight old league in the Peruvian Premier League. 2 teams on 44, so this is a massive game for both of these teams, but especially for the home team as they look to take that top spot. It's level at the moment, isn't it? But Alianza Lima, they're not far off, and this is an important game for them. So 1.57 with the probability model, and over evens with 1xbet as well. So what we'll do now is an AI fixture simulation. We get a nice 2-0 victory. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Let's hope this one flies in. It is a value bet, of course. Found it on the value bets page. Check that out if you want a more systematic, profitable, long-term approach to betting. You can head over to the downloads page as well, where you can get all of the probability model output from 2022 onwards, and you can quickly work out the profitability. There's also the new probability page as well, where you can literally see your settings and see what they would have returned over the past 120 days as well. So from Peru to Peru, but we are switching up the market. Let's jump to the trends page for this one. Half with most goals, second half, and this game stood out to me. There's a couple of games actually that I would like to show you from this market. It's a personal favourite of mine because you can sort of explore the games through the lens of most goals in the second half, but it can lead to other interesting options and bets quite quickly, as I'll explain in a little bit more detail in a moment. But here we've got a game in Peru, Sport Boys away at Deportivo Garcilaso. I've said it in the most non-Italian way ever, because every pronunciation, as I say, sounds Italian at the moment. But we can see the related stats. 9 games played at home and away for these two teams. No game away from home for Sport Boys has seen the most goals being scored in the first half. Now, if you're new to this market, that is spread across 3 outcomes, because you can have a tie. In terms of scoring in the first half, just 22% for both of these teams. Scoring in the second half, which is what I wanted to talk about as well, is 78% for the home team. And that's where I like to dig a little bit deeper into these games. And if you like to put bet builders together, for example, one might be here. If you're not fully on board with most goals being scored in the second half, or you see some data that suggests maybe there is possibility, of course there's possibility for a first half goal in any game, you never know, could be a free kick, corner, red card, whatever, then one way you can sort of defer is, or just eliminate some risk, is over 1.5 goals and Deportivo to score in the second half. So this is a prediction generally for most goals in the second half, of course, but I just wanted to show you it because it's a nice example of how you can look at one game with a certain market in mind, but have some fallbacks that help you eliminate risk. Oh, you're still here. Hit like, subscribe if you're enjoying this content. That game was from Peru, as I say. We're trying to get to 5K. I say we, it's just me. OddAlerts is my baby, designer, developer, founder. If you're enjoying it, leave some feedback, comments. I listen and read everything. Trying to get one video to 5K, one of these predictions videos. Some of the more evergreen videos have got to 25K and stuff, but I know that people do really like these sort of relevant, specific prediction videos. So in order for me to keep doing them, I want to see some growth. I want to see people enjoying them and sharing them more and getting more views. Let's try and hit 5K. If you can like, comment and subscribe, it would mean a lot. That one was from Peru, but we're sticking with the same market, but we're heading all the way across the world to South Korea. Incheon United against Seoul, and I'm on the timing tab already here because just look at the first half goals that these teams have not scored. 3 first half goals all season at home for Incheon, and just 4, one more for Seoul as well. And then second half goals, you can see there is a jump. 13 scored in the second half for Seoul and 9, so 0.75. Still not amazing at home for Incheon, and we'll check out their general stats in a moment. But they're also not conceding too many in the first half, conceded just 4 and conceded just 9 as well, 0.75. And again, as I said before, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that they could concede in the first half. So it just depends on your level of risk for these types of bets and predictions. So in terms of 0-0 at half time, 50% of all games, and we can jump down here and we actually just get what you need in terms of occurrences for these bets. Most goals happening in the first half is 0 for both of these teams, home form versus away form. If you want to check out the overall form, it changes a little bit for Seoul, 17%, still very low, but for Incheon, 4% of all games this season have seen most goals being scored in the first half. So it's really not a lot, is it? They've not scored more than once in any first half game, and for Seoul, just 17%. The average first goal time is 41 minutes. First goal in terms of scoring, average time 58 minutes for Incheon. Unders could be the play as well. This is another thing that you can potentially fall back on, unders. I know people really don't like to bet on the under. The sort of average bettor doesn't like to bet on the under, but I'm telling you, it is profitable long term. Check out the value betting again on OddAlerts and have a look there. So in terms of the general form, as we might expect, even just looking at the first half and second half data, this team struggles for goals. And if we look at their home form, they're struggling for points as well. A 4-1 defeat where they were 2-0 down at half time, importantly, and they have conceded in the first half in the last couple of games. So again, and to be honest, even though they conceded in the first half of that last game, there was still more goals in the second half because they just continued to concede and actually got one back as well. So most goals second half. The reason I like this one, this market, is because the odds are always just above evens. And let me know in the comments what you think is a good fallback for this. I personally like the over 1.5 goals and X team to score in the second half, whoever you think is more likely to score in the second half. And in this example, you would say Seoul to score in the second half. I tell you what, let's try and put that together right now. So Seoul to score in the second half, 1.66, and this could be paired with another game completely. Wherever you find these games, if you've got a good filter, once all of the domestic seasons get going again in and around Europe, you'll be able to put doubles together, just a team to score in the second half using the same sort of data that we've looked at, the same pages. You could use the trends page as an entry point for sure, but if you've got a filter that you know and trust, and you can load it up and just have a good short list of maybe 10 games per weekend or something to just look through and pick a couple of doubles or a few doubles, that is a good way. And I've touched on this a few times in this video already, but it's absolutely okay if this game is 2-0 in the first half to Incheon. It's unlikely, it's the most unlikely of situations, but the process, this habit, building this habit of just being more mindful and actually researching and preparing and not just throwing your money away, you will have more success long term. I absolutely guarantee it. But you have to understand that there is variance. In football, there is downswings in value betting. It's just part of the game, and anybody that's trying to sell you a golden bullet or whatever you want to call it, of perfect predictions, it does not exist. It just absolutely doesn't exist. So with that said, all we can do is look at the data and try and take a data driven approach and be as sensible as we can be. Really, that's why I would always suggest doubles, nothing more really. So for them to score in the second half, 1.66. If we then go to total goals in the match, over 1 goal, it is 1.83 now. And of course, you could go with most goals in the second half at evens, 2.87 if you combine all them. But I would say one or the other. There's no point trying to just throw more onto the slip. 1.87 for over 1.5 goals and a goal for X team. It's all about eliminating risk, as I said before. Let me know what you think about that market. Have you explored it before? Are you completely new to it? It's one of my favorites, as I say, because you can from the first page, from your first entry point, whether it's this trends page. So I'll take you back to the trends page for a moment, and as you can see, the odds not available for all of these games, but it doesn't mean there isn't value to be found. If most goals are being scored in the second half, then I would suggest setting alerts for over 1.5 goals, 2.5 goals, depending on the types of games. You can see here that there's a lot of games from Australia and New Zealand which are very, very good for goals, over 2.5 goals, over 3.5 goals. But if these games are seeing most goals in the second half, does it mean they're starting slow? Does it mean there's potential for even first half goal alerts? You know, if there's 1 goal in the first half but 4 in the second half, then that's still a very good bet, isn't it? From that market to another one, over 2.5 goals, and this is one for the alerts. Let's take a look, and for this we are going to Australia. The Incheon game, by the way, Saturday lunchtime UK time. This game I found through trends as well, looking at those overall tables, because if we just check out the form, 33 out of 33 games, just look at the goal difference. The away team have scored 2.25 but have conceded 2.69, so many goals. On average, 5.12 goals per game for Acacia Ridge in Australia, and Redcliffe at 4.94, so not far behind, but they've scored a lot more than the home team. The home team has conceded 71 goals across their games, 4.18 per game. Mental. But the thing that brought me into this game from the trends page is that in every game played this season, 33 out of 33 games involving both of these teams, it's landed over 2.5 goals. Now that's crazy. These are the results. For the home team, it's not looking good, is it? They've conceded 7 in one game, they've conceded 10 in one game to table-topping Brisbane Knights. They've conceded 6, 5, 4, 4, 4, 5 again up there. Yeah, it's really not good, as we saw by the averages. We probably didn't even need to look at the results, but here they are. For the away team, again, just goals wherever you look, every single game. Let's do an AI fixture simulation, a 2-1 victory, 3-2 scoreline, shortly behind in the most common scorelines, as was 3-1 the majority of the games in the simulation, ending with an away victory. What is the away victory? 1.53. No, that's a half-time victory. Full-time result, 1.2. Let me know if that hits 1.8. And then for the goals, let me know if that hits 1.4, and I'll just go and monitor that. First half goal line, if there's, let's say first half goals, again, same sort of thing, 1.6. Just because I want to be notified of this game, because there's a few ways you could probably profit from this game, depending on how it starts, if it starts slow. But yeah, this one certainly looks like it could be a fun game. Next, first half goals. I found a game, I think this could be potentially the game of the weekend in Sweden, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. But for now, are you enjoying this video? I know it's a long one at the moment, and if you are enjoying it, leave a comment, like, subscribe. The comment actually, so this week we're going to be doing BTTS for the quick filter in a moment, and we're going to find games for BTTS for the whole weekend. Hopefully, you know, we'll find some good games for BTTS. And what I want to ask you is, what do you want me to cover in the next quick filter, in the next video, which is probably going to be Monday. I think the routine will be Monday and Monday video, and then maybe a Thursday or Friday video. So the options this week, let's go for corners, first half corners, or general corners, and other. And let me know in the comments, and we'll see what wins. So first half corners or corners in general for the full game. And if it is corners that wins, I could tie it in with a nice launch. I've got some new probability model values sort of nearly ready to go based around corners, so that could be interesting. And I know a lot of people want me to add corners to the bet slip generator, so that's something we could do. But from corners, let us know in the comments anyway which one you want to see, first half corners or full-time corners, or another market completely. Let us know in the comments. Any comment automatically entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro. With that said, let's go to Sweden, because I've got a game here that I think could be the game of the weekend. How do I change this? Here we go, 1, 2, 3. Elfsborg versus Djurgarden in Sweden. Now let's have a look at how many games they've played so far in Sweden. Toggle overall, 15 for the away team, 16, and it's 4th hosting 2nd. Now in terms of the goals, it's an interesting one this. If we look at the home form and the away form, 2.57 per game and 2.75 per game. And I talked about first half goals. Let's look at the timing tab. Both of these teams have won the majority of their games by half time. They like to start quickly. Now, what's going to happen when they face each other? Will they cancel each other out? Because if you look at this, they haven't conceded many goals. Conceded 0.14. Djurgarden away from home have conceded once away from home. That's pretty good. So 100% records here for 2 goals or more, home form and away form for both of these teams. So goals are expected. Let's look at the timing data again, see if anything stands out. Both of these teams scoring first, both of these teams looking to take the game by the scruff of the neck. No nil-nils in the second half as well. So maybe a goal in both halves potentially. Let me know what you think about this one. Check it out on the website. As you can see, yeah, a goal scored in both halves, but also 88% for the first half and 86%. So it's always a tricky one in terms of that first half goal. It's so common in these two teams, but they are usually the ones scoring. Now, in terms of goals conceded, especially at half time, the last 2 scorelines at half time for Elfsborg have been 2-1. So at home, they were winning 2-1 at the break in the previous game, and before that, it was also 2-1, but they were losing. They ended up winning 5-3. So really exciting games in the last 3 games. Is that 15 goals in the last 3 games for Elfsborg, and they'll be happy with that because they played 4th and then they played 3rd. They've got 2 wins. They're scoring for fun, and now they are hosting one of the best teams in Sweden, Djurgarden, who come into this having lost 2-1, and it was 1-1 in the first half in that away game. We can look at their away form and we can see that there's been a first half goal in all but 1 game. They are pretty good defensively, but they have conceded in the last 3 games, including 2 at 14th placed Kalmar. So how will they bounce back from that? Elfsborg, you would imagine, have the momentum. Home form fantastic, away form pretty dreadful for Elfsborg. They'll be looking to correct that, but they won't care about it. On Sunday, this game is on Sunday, 3:30 UK time. What are you thinking about that? I will now jump to the odds. I was going to give a prediction then, but we'll do a AI fixture simulation first. In fact, let's look at the model. So BTTS 1.75. Quite liking that based on the stats that I've seen. Over 2.5 goals as well, potentially. Hoping that there's an early goal in this game, given the first half data, that will then bring the other team out to try and come back. First half goals can really open up a game. And we get a 2-1 Elfsborg victory. You can see it, can't you? 1-1, the most common scoreline. You could see that as well, given the data that we have just seen. Let's take a look at the odds. Do we have any value bets here? Both teams to score 1.62, so it's negative value that, so I will be setting an alert potentially on that. Let's have a look at the odds. So BTTS, let me know if that hits 1.8 and I'll come and investigate. First half goal, let me know if that hits 1.6. It's at 1.33 right now. Highest scoring half, first half is 3.1, and again, that is a risky selection given the way these teams defend in the first half. Over 2.5 goals at 1.73, that could be a good double, a pre-match double with another selection. If we look at the probability model, we are getting 1.82, so it is actually negative value again, but I think that's something I still probably would go for, even at 1.72 if you are putting a double together. Let me know what you think about that one. And now, after we've looked at all those games that I found using the various tools, we will put together a quick filter for the weekend looking at BTTS, and this is also where I want to get your comments. I'm going to just create some rules that I think apply to BTTS, but I always want to hear what you think and what you look out for in these types of games and filters. So let's do that. Let's discuss in the comments. There's been some great comments on recent videos, people interacting with each other, which is always good, you know. If you're not in the Discord, by the way, join Pro. You can get into the Discord. If you're having trouble with the Discord, if you've got an older OddAlerts account and you didn't join Discord straight away, your invite might be invalid. So just email me, joe@oddalerts.com, and I will get you on set up same day. So with that said, let's go to the filter. And as we always do, let's set the matches played to 10. Save that for both teams. Now, what I haven't actually used much on these videos is filtering for the odds, but what I'm going to do is say, show me away teams where the odds are 1.9 or less. And what that's going to do is basically give us games where the away teams are the favourites, and now I'm going to add a rule for the home team. So we've got an away team that is the favourite. That's our sort of foundational layer of this filter, and you can mix it up. You can put whatever you want, but I prefer to focus on away teams when I'm looking at BTTS, because I feel like if you've got a strong away team, maybe that's ranked higher in the league, but they're playing a home team that is confident, that can score, I think it's just a good mix of conditions to aid BTTS. So with that said, let's go for points per game here at home. In all games played, let's just say 1.5 or more, and then we want to qualify that the home team is actually scoring goals. You know, you could get up to 1.5 points per game potentially with some draws and 1-0 wins, but we want to qualify that they're actually scoring, and let's say they've scored in 80% of home games. We can save that rule. Now I will add some more to this, but let's actually just hit search. No fixtures for today, Thursday. If we click next 5 days, we get some games, and it is a short list of games. So we can then go to the odds, and BTTS is available for one of these games. So what we might want to do, well, I mean, this is the thing. If you don't get the games you want, and at this time of the season, you might not, right? Because of where we are in the summer, and with domestic seasons upcoming and friendlies being played at the moment and stuff. This is maybe where we're at the moment. And again, should you go changing and editing this to chase more games that do have the odds? This is something you can screenshot and test for yourself. Another thing that you might try, and you should definitely try, and I would recommend it, is leaning on the probability model. We do have a BTTS value, so let's say 60%. Hit search for the same time frame. We get some more games now. And is there a second page? There is. There is quite a few games, 60% or more. So 60% as implied odds is 1.57. We've got some games in Norway here, you can see. You can look at the probability model. You can see they're all over 60%. 1.67 is it? Yeah, so what we can do now is add the odds. This is how you can find BTTS value bets in no time at all. And we'll say, show me where the odds are 1.7 or more, sort by the odds, and then hit search. You get one game. It takes it down, doesn't it? Let's put 1.5. Maybe you can get some doubles on the go. So Hammarby versus Majalby. We can check the odds here. 1.67 just. So in terms of the odds, we're sorting them now, aren't we? So BTTS 1.75, that is the highest when you're also looking at the probability model. Now you could take this down a notch if you wanted, and then adjust the odds, but this is the short list. And what I'll do is share this, and that's it in terms of the games that we're going to get. So let's see how many of these. I'll share this shortlist in the comments, as I did with the previous video and the first half goals shortlist that did exceptionally well. So that's it. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate all of you, and hopefully this video can get to 5,000 views. I would be absolutely buzzing with that, and hopefully that can be the new benchmark. 2,000 is the sort of average at the moment. So if you haven't yet, comment, like, subscribe, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Play the outro song.